that they tend to bowl more when it's very helpful conditions, so it's slightly misleading their averages, as this is on leg stump and just dropped into the leg side by the England captain. No run.
We are now back on YouTube.
Welcome to all our YouTubers. We're sorry for any brief interruption you may have had. Any complaints, send them to Ian Forth, as this next ball is full, and a nice little bit of drift in there from Head. It was almost Yorker length, and it was blocked by Stokes, but there was a definite in-drift. Did you see that?
A little bit. I don't think it's going to...
You don't need too much.
No.
End of the over. Messi.
Right. Mike says, fuck Willow TV in the US. They just had adverts for some shitty mid-grade car that made me miss the first ball of the 56 over. Well, you should try Channel 9 in Perth. They're shambles with ads. Channel 9 in Australia don't get cricket at all. Anyhow, we could talk forever about useless TV coverage. Steve Callett says, and there'll be a new video. No, there won't actually, because the bear clicks on something, the feed breaks. This is comedy gold. Is there a cricket match still happening? Yes, there is.
There is.
And the YouTube feed is back.
It is. It's because, it tells you have to dismiss the previous video, and I didn't do that before I restarted it. So I didn't think it was going to start again, and apparently it did. So there you go.
Yes, you're complaining about TV broadcasters. I have to say that Sky TV, since they've taken it on, are very, very good at not missing stuff. Previously, the BBC used to miss all sorts of cricket for not very important reasons. As Hazelwood is to start a new over to Brook, and it's a good ball on off stump and defended into the leg side by the England middle order batsman. And even Channel 4, when they took it over, they used to go away to racing in the middle. And
yes.
So Sky, bless them, even when things overrun, they do cover every single ball of every game that they're paying for, which is unusual in the history of cricket coverage, and is to their credit. I'm sure people will point out things to their debit, but let's give credit where it's due. 261 for 4. In comes Hazelwood again, and it's outside the off stump and dabbed deliberately between the first and third slips. There is no second slip. It was all along the ground and down to the vacant third man position for one of these.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well played by Brook. It was deliberate and no risk whatsoever.
No. Down into the ground. There's always a chance the fielder might cut it off, but it was well played. I want him to get a ton. More than anyone.
Double ton would be nice.
Double ton would be fantastic.
It would be entertaining as well. Still with conventional tactics now, as Hazelwood bowls to Brook, who drops this into the offside and takes a quick single. Annoying for fielders, annoying for bowlers, but good strike rotation. Strike rotation as a concept is highly overrated. I mean, 2 runs is always better than 1 run. But
well, yeah. Well, 1 run's
Except
better
it
than
upsets
none.
the bowler a lot.
Well, it can do.
The bowler setting you up gets completely fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, as a bowler, I always wanted to bowl 6 balls at the same guy. If I didn't get him, and I wanted to get him out. There was nothing more annoying, especially a right and left-hander as a spinner.
It's also annoying. Well, yes, it's also annoying if every ball's being hit for runs as well, even if they're an even number. As Hazelwood's round the wicket to the left-handed Stokes, and this is nudged down towards third man. Again, he's got on top of that. They've taken 1 quickly, and they're going to come back for 2. There isn't a third man fielder. There is a man on the deep point fence, so he had to make about 20 yards to his right. An easy 2 to the England skipper.
It's Matt Renshaw. Must be on for Nathan Lyon.
Presumably.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, everyone's picking up injuries. Are people going to play in the next test? Wood wasn't available for this. Now Lyon looks like he might be out.
I was suggesting when Glenn McGrath was on during the lunchtime interval, for old time's sake, he should have trodden on a ball just to give the crowd something to enjoy. Josh Hazelwood bowls a short ball, and Stokes lets this travel down the arse and taken by Carey.
Yeah, I imagine they might start the short ball stuff up against Johnny B, mightn't they?
Yes, that's a possibility. He has had an interesting test match, Bairstow, so far.
Yeah.
Started with carrying a protester
Yeah, protest off the field.
off the field.
Got a stumping.
He did get a stumping, as Hazelwood is into Stokes, well wide of off stump and left through to Carey. And that is the end of the over. Messi.
Mike Taylor says, I totally get Hendo's outburst. The frustration of having clawed back into the game only to throw it away needlessly is immense.
But they haven't
The
thrown it
combat-
away.
Well,
that's the
hold on.
point, isn't it?
Oh, shush! I'll finish his tweet. A combat walkout is nothing. I'm about to join the riots in Paris. Fuck the police.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is...
Other NWA albums are available.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, they haven't thrown it away. They've gone for a tactic to try and get on top of the Australians. It's failed to a degree. Or only got 60 for 3. The Australians doing that. And
Travis Head starts a new over to Brook, who comes down the wicket and sort of shovels this with the bottom hand up to long on for a single.
And now they've got tired, or they've had to change bowlers, and they can't do it anymore. And actually, towards the end, what might have changed that is that Brook generally was trying to get inside it and hit it over the covers, which you can't necessarily mandate for, because if they start plugging that hole, there'll be a hole for the pull.
Next ball to Stokes is defended to short, to mid wicket, no run.
And Stokes was genuinely eschewing it. So England have decided,
Yeah.
okay, we've gone for it. We've lost 3 wickets, and now we're going to pull out of that, and therefore it's not viable for Australia to do it as well. Now we're back into a different period of the game.
Next ball nudged to extra cover, no run. But the question is, what if a team had 5 of those bowlers and could do it all day?
Well, then you'd be West Indies in the 19th.
You would,
In
and they
the
were only
80s.
bowling 9 overs an hour.
Yeah.
But not just that. Why did they need to do what they did?
Because
I mean,
that's the way
Because
that
otherwise
they
you're
want
not going to
play.
score any runs. This next ball is a
Exactly.
little bit shorter. Stokes goes on the back foot and plays it out to the sweeper. I mean, you can duck every ball, yes, but then, an hour later, the game has not advanced in any way, and England are 1-0 down in the series, and to win this game, they need to score
And
runs.
plus, with only 1 wicket down,
well,
you're trying.
no, because the end result was a negative for England when they played beautiful cricket all afternoon.
Sorry, I missed that ball, Bear. Can you just?
That was just defended out in the square on the offside. There's no one. They thought about run, but it wasn't there.
I just think it was a total brain fade.
Well,
and
no.
the failure to play decent technique in circumstances
Well,
where they didn't need
it was
What
all
they
started actually.
This is
Go
next
on.
ball is defended square on the offside, no run.
Well, I think Ollie Pope actually got into a really, really good position for the shot. He just toe-ended it. He got it wrong, and that's what started it all. But if he got that in the middle of the bat, it was sailing way back into the crowd. And then you had, Root wasn't out there long, and he was starting against a short ball. And this is it. You, as a batsman, you also kind of want to impose yourself on the opposition. You don't want to let them get in your head, so you have to try something. You can't just let it hit you and weave out the way, and then it looks like they're going to get you out any single ball, and you can quite easily get yourself in a horrible position, glove one through to the keeper. So it's a risk reward thing, and with only 1 wicket down when Pope went out as the 2nd wicket down, they still had probably a couple of wickets to try and impose it. Having failed that,
Hazelwood starts a new over to Stokes, who just angles this behind square on the offside, or square on the offside for a single.
having failed that,
Well-
they now they've gone back the other way, and now they're on 271 for 4. So.
Yeah. Although the question
Well,
remains.
I'll tell you why I'm pissed off. I had a $5 on Root and Smith getting first inning centuries.
There you go. There's the
at
real
20
reason.
to 1. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Bear, you're not averse.
I'm not averse to it.
Bear's not averse to getting annoyed when a bet doesn't come in.
Exactly. That's the kind of thing that would annoy me too, Messi. But at least we're being honest about it now.
As Hazelwood, he was very tall, comes in and bowls to Brook. He nearly defeats him, but he just manages to jab the bat down on it. Had he not, it would have been a very strong LBW appeal. Finds a gap in the leg side and takes a single.
And the other thing is, England don't want. Hazelwood has got shitloads of English wickets over the time, bowling a normal line where he's nibbled it and got England in all sorts of trouble. And they don't want him getting into that groove either. So he's been forced to bowl something else, and unfortunately, he's got away with getting some wickets by it.
Well, he's got 1 today.
Didn't you get 2? Didn't you get Wood as well?
No, I think
didn't he get?
4 different wicket takers.
Oh, is it?
As Hazelwood bowls again outside the off stump and left through to the keeper. Again, I'm just going to say it perhaps for the last time. What shot do you play to the balls that are all aimed at your shoulder? and yes, you can sway out the way, but then you will never score a run.
Yeah, it's true. Well, there should only be 5 minutes left in the day, actually.
Only for so long as they can keep them going there, because generally speaking, they're going to bowl some that just don't go on target.
Yeah, and it's hard work for the bowlers, sure it is, and they don't get through many overs. But as this next ball is short and aimed to the leg side, and Stoke has turned this round the corner and has set off so slowly for the single
I didn't
that
think
he still hasn't got to the other end.
I think he thought there was a man on 45 and there wasn't going to be a single, but there was. So I make that 350 scored so far today. 77 added on.
Yep.
So we've
probably got
3-5-1. If only one more run is scored, the light roller.
And after 3-5-1, what's the next
6
one?
minutes.
The next one would be 3-8-5.
Oh, that's
a
looking
long way off.
looking a long way away.
Big
So
gap.
the house needs 2 runs or more.
Or any, yes. Hazelwood bowls driven sweetly into the offside. Oh, but well fielded by mid-off. Just a single. I thought that might have beaten him in the chance of a boundary. It's been a while since there was a boundary. And to Australia's credit, they have found a way of preventing the flow of boundaries. Some teams have struggled to prevent England from scoring boundaries at will. And it is a batting-friendly wicket. And the ball has not beaten the bat pretty much at all the way through this innings.
Well, I mean, this looks like it could be a close thing on first innings here.
Hazelwood bowls again, and Stokes defends, walks across his crease and defends it into the leg side. And that is the end of the 59th over. England are 274 for 4. They still trail by 142 runs.
Just looking at the weather forecast for tomorrow, not a big chance of rain at this stage, although that can change.
I think it's all. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty clear for the next day or so.
Sort of white cloud until noon, then grey cloud from then on.
So it makes a
maybe,
big difference at Lords whether there's white cloud or grey cloud.
Yeah. So it could be interesting.
England have had the better of the weather conditions when they've batted, I would venture to suggest, which may have something to do with the ball not beating the bat. As his head bowls round the wicket to Brooke, who drives this sweetly into the offside but straight at the man at cover. Is this going to be the last over? We are. Somebody is bang
Winning.
on the money at the moment,
Yeah.
as head bowls to Brooke, who slaps this out to wide mid-off. Sorry if you were on that score. It is now 1 run more than that.
It was 3-5-1. It's now 3-5-2.
Quite
the
frankly-
house is happy.
Quite frankly, if you were expecting no runs from last over from head to Brooke,
Yeah.
chances are you're going to be disappointed. But if it is the last over of the day, a wicket can end it quickly. The next one from Stokes is worked out to wide mid-off, easy single.
Well, head's only gone at 2 runs and over, so that that's
I think they've decided.
good, reasonable containment.
They've decided to milk him.
Yeah, I think they've, better part of valor or whatever that saying is.
There's many ways to skin a cat. This next ball is defended into the offside.
How many metaphors can we mix in the one
Yeah.
thing?
Well, you can lead the horse to water.
What is the better part of valor? I can't remember.
Discretion. This is chipped up in the air, but there isn't a short mid on. There is a long on. So,
I don't think you need to be doing that as the second last ball of the day, really.
well, it was comfortable enough. There was no one there.
Although there might be another over because this over has gone pretty quick, actually.
Another single is taken. Yeah, Head
there
gets
will
through
be
his
that.
overs. That didn't bounce all that high, actually.
No.
Maybe this first signs of variable bounce, as this is on the back foot goes Stokes and tries to force it into the offside. A good stop at extra cover by a sprawling man whose name I couldn't tell you.
I was going to
We
say
could
Charles
guess,
Head,
but
he's
I'll just
bowling.
say Kawaja. No one will know any better.
No, I imagine
That's the end of the over. Looks like we are going to get another over.
I think we are.
Oh, we're easily going to get another over.
I don't think we'll get one more after this, though, because it'll be a Hazelwood over.
If it's a Hazelwood over, no, it's not. We're going to have the Pigster.
Oh, for fuck's sake. If he gets a wicket, if he gets a fucking wicket in this last over of the day, I'm going to get really, really
with a full
upset.
toss.
With a, no,
It'll just be you and me left,
Just
Fred.
stand still. Stop playing with yourself. Oh, very unsightly. Stop fiddling. Stop fiddling about. Stop playing with yourself. Oh dear.
yeah.
Stop fiddling. You look a bit mental. Stop playing with yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. Stop fiddling, Steve. Oh. Stop playing with yourself. You will go blind.
It's going to be some fucking waist-high full toss that gets Is there someone
Yeah,
out at
it's
Cow?
gonna
There
be-
is a man down at Cow.
Me
as
and
well.
Messi are going to be the last men standing in Guerrilla Cricket today. Well,
And we'll be
he's
laughing.
having about 4 warm-up deliveries, so this will be the last over. And let's see if he gets any turn, because he's never struggled to turn the ball.
Would he pitch it? Is the other question.
Well, Brook is on strike, and he's making him wait. We've got a slip in, as this is a very full
Passable.
ball. Yeah, it was. If you're the bowler, you're never quite sure where the first ball's going, but that was a good one, but defended by Brook. What's Brook's mentality facing this over? I'm not sure how to
Well,
answer that question.
No, I don't know.
As this next one's on leg stump and just driven up to long on for a single, and Andrew Strauss is taking yet another lap of honour.
He's got fucking funny boots with little up-toed
Yes, that's
ends.
okay. I shall withdraw the cynicism for a while and concentrate on the cricket, if they will show it to us.
Mayank's complaining they're going to end up 10 overs. Well, actually, they're going to be 9 overs short today.
We have had
Brian-
some excessive. Lyon took a long time to get off the pitch, as it's a very round arm delivery from
That was just a normal.
Smith, which is
Offie.
defended by Stokes. Yeah, that wasn't a wrist spinner. That was just a roller.
Well, that's what Rooty does.
There was a little bit of turn. Smith again round armour. This is flicked to short fine leg or short backward square leg. No run. 2 balls left in the day, and if England can see these 2 balls out, I think they've had a very good day.
Yeah, I think so.
Brian's asking who are the 2 spare blokes sitting on the left side of the England balcony. The TV seems keen on them.
This
Did you
is
notice them?
driven up to deepish mid-off. They don't take a risky single, probably just as well. 1 ball left in the day. Steve Smith bowling to Ben Stokes, and he drives this to cover where it's fielded. No run, 61 overs gone. England are 278 for 4, and I believe that is the end of the day's play. We've had a lot gone on today, and
Sure have.
I'm sure Messi Jez's recap of the day is going to deal with all those tremendous issues that have happened on and off the field. And at stumps on day 2, England are 278 for 4. They trail by 138 runs with 6 wickets in hand, and this Test match, Bear, is well poised.
It is indeed. England have fought back well. We were very down on them yesterday, but I think they came back this morning. They got the 5 wickets reasonably quickly. They scored at a Bazball pace. I mean, they were going at 5 and over until those wickets fell, and they've slowed down in the last half of the day. I think they'll come back, regroup in the morning, and try and push on. They've got these 2 and Bairstow, and a little help from the other 4 batsmen. If the other 4 batsmen get 40 runs and these guys can get 40 runs each, then they're pretty much at parity, aren't they? Anything more than that is a bonus. I'd love to see.
Well, you don't
Big
really want a
scores.
one-innings game, do you?
No, I mean ideally England want to get ahead, but
even a 30 lead can be useful in these situations.
well, it can do.
Yeah.
It can do. Any sort of lead would be useful. But I think after yesterday, I mean, after having decided to put Australia in, you always expect to be able to try and roll them cheap and then get the runs in. But Australia are in a box seat and having got all those runs on the board, and England managed to claw them back, and they've got to keep themselves in the game by getting at least parity and all roundabouts there. And a lead is a lead, and as you say, if they can somehow squeeze out a 50-run lead or something like that, get close to 500 somehow, that could be a very useful lead.
it could.
Well,
So
I have a question for you, Fred.
Yep.
Because you know Lords very well as a Middlesex man.
okay.
What are we likely to see in this pitch over the next 3 days?
I think it's only 2 days gone. This Test match is very well advanced, and I think it should be pretty good batting for the next day and a half. It may well get lower and slower. As for turn, well, there may be turn. I don't think it's going to be quick turn or sharp turn. It's basically a batting-friendly pitch, and it's been difficult for the bowlers on either side to prize out wickets.
Yeah.
I think that's likely to continue, certainly for the next day and a half, possibly 2 days.
And it's the sort of pitch where chasing a big innings in the fourth, big score in the 4th innings isn't necessarily as hard as it is at some other wicket places.
I would say so. Well, it's likely to get lower and slower. It's less. not likely to
Yeah.
come onto the bat. Again, a lot depends at Lords with the overhead conditions. If it's steamy, if it's muggy, if there's grey cloud over the head, you can get the ball to swing. But basically, the wicket, I think, should be pretty good all the way through. So, yeah, I mean, this is another good test match. If you've enjoyed listening to us today, please do come back tomorrow. And we will be here every ball of every day throughout the summer, bringing you the continuing saga of this gripping series on and off the field. So do join us tomorrow at 10 to 11 UK time for the third day.
Indeed.
And until then, from the Bear, from Forthy, from Grubby, from Annie, from Jack, and of course from Hendo and myself, so long and see you next time.
Yeah, see you all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And Bear, can you just show Annie what she needs to do to log in for the roundup with me?
Yeah, can do. All right.
Thanks, mate.
Okay. Bye.
Cheers.
Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV.